Medieval European records describe the Mongols, or Tartars, as apocalyptic monsters. Chroniclers illustrated them as savages, sweeping out of the steppe to bring slaughter, and, as you can see here, roasting human beings on spits. This terrifying reputation occupies a massive historical blind spot. The steppe nomads of Central Asia lived entirely on horseback and passed down their traditions orally, leaving no written literature of their own. Because they did not write their own history, our primary understanding of the Mongols comes almost exclusively from the people they raided: the Persians, the Europeans, and the Chinese. Even the word barbarian carries this cultural baggage. It originates from the ancient Greek word barbaros, a derogatory way to mock non-Greek speakers. To the Greeks, foreign languages sounded like a babbling, bar noise. Over time, that insult became shorthand for someone cowardly, childish, and incapable of self-governance. The barbarian label was a defensive psychological construct. When wealthy, established farming societies suffered massive defeats, categorizing their conquerors as inhuman monsters provided a convenient explanation for their losses. You can see the physical manifestation of this fear built into the landscape. Sedentary, farming societies spent centuries constructing monumental defense structures, like the Great Wall of China, specifically to keep these nomadic horsemen out of their territory. The concept of an empire requires stable, complex, and stationary administration. Yet the people who prompted this massive construction project were nomads, moving with their herds across the open steppe. A chaotic raider can win a battle, but a raider's dominance usually collapses the moment they dismount. The Mongol presence, however, expanded and endured for generations, eventually encompassing the largest contiguous land empire in human history. The survival of this authority across such a vast territory indicates a structure beneath the surface that was as durable as the stone walls built to resist it. That structure was the work of Genghis Khan. Early on, he realized traditional steppe tribalism was sufficient for raiding, but too volatile to govern. He chose to dismantle the old, fierce loyalties of the clans, replacing them with a unified military machine loyal only to him. He achieved this mathematical reorganization through the decimal system. Warriors were stripped of tribal affiliations and restructured into interlocking units of 10, 100, and 1,000. The apex was the Tumen, a 10,000-soldier division where historically rival clans were mixed together. If a soldier tried to leave his newly assigned unit without permission, the punishment was death. This structure erased decades of tribal infighting and forced strangers to rely on one another, transforming a feuding population into a cohesive imperial force. Military cohesion solved the problem of conquest, but the Mongols then faced the challenge of governing complex, unfamiliar agricultural economies that operated on taxation and written laws. To manage this, the Khans recruited literate civil administrators directly from the ranks of the people they had just conquered. They implemented a massive policy of cross-cultural integration, swapping these populations across the empire. They moved Chinese secretaries to manage administration in Iran, while Iranian and Arab officials were sent to govern territories in China. These recruited experts shaped major Mongol policies. In the 1230s, a Chinese minister named Yalu Chutsai convinced the Khans that they would generate more wealth by protecting and taxing the peasant class rather than slaughtering them. The Mongol leadership recognized their own limitations. By outsourcing day-to-day governance to the best available talent, they integrated the technical skills of the sedentary world into their nomadic empire. This combination of military discipline and administrative pragmatism created a period known as the Pax Mongolica, or the Mongol Peace. As this map shows, a single administration now policed the entire Eurasian landmass. Because one sovereign power enforced the law across these borders, the Silk Road became safer for merchants. Overland travel between east and west reached a peak unmatched for centuries. The people often described as mindless destroyers actually built the medieval world's most effective network for cross-cultural exchange. The barbarian myth survives, largely because the historical record was written by the victims of their military campaigns. It is the legacy of civilizations whose pride was wounded by nomadic superiority. Ultimately, the Mongols proved that a nomadic society could engineer a system more complex and vastly more connected than the stone walls built to keep them out.